Happy Monday, you guys. I am so incredibly excited to hop in and spill all the tea about this new incredible prenatal / multi, and to just share all of the details as to why this stands out amongst major competitor prenatals. And having had 3 babies of my own, oh my gosh, you guys, there's so many times that I look at this and I'm like, I wish I would have had this when I'm pregnant. And although that ship has sailed, I have had the incredible opportunity to actually be taking this over the course of the last month and really filling in some micronutrient gaps that I personally saw on my own labs that I pulled. And this, you guys, hands down is like the best of the best. And so let me break down the ingredients and why this stands out amongst major competitors. So let's dive into the ingredients and why this is very different amongst other major competitors or like your traditional prenatal that you buy at like Whole Foods or the grocery store. If you are trying to conceive, let me start by saying that you really want to start equipping and supporting your body, I would say at least a year, 6 months minimum before you actually start trying to conceive. This means really supporting and loving and nourishing your body with key optimal nutrient dense foods, supporting your blood sugar, also looking at key micronutrients. So the things you're not getting from your nutrition. You guys, our nutrition is just not what it once was. And oftentimes, especially when I am pulling functional labs on women, I see a lot of nutritional gaps that need to be filled with micronutrients. And although food is always my first source when I'm working with clients, we need to dive. So I begin to look at, okay, what vitamins and minerals, trace minerals, omegas, amino acids, what need to be essentially filled in with a phenomenal prenatal or a multi. Little Miss is making a grand appearance here. And so we look at all of these things when we are wanting to nourish and love mama and baby. And so when we are looking at competing products, I should say, or you're looking at traditional, prenatals and multis that are sold over the counter, one of the very first things that I want you to take note of is the bioavailability of the actual nutrients in the supplement. And when I say bioavailability, this means that the nutrients are broken down to their purest form, which allows your body to absorb them as those incredible microdosing nutrients and recognize it as food, so you actually absorb. So another really important piece when you are comparing different prenatals is looking at the actual nutrients in the prenatal. So one of the biggest red flags for me as a functional hormone specialist personally is the added dosing of iron in very high quantities in prenatals. Ladies, if you are eating meat and you have a well-balanced nutritional diet, the chances of you actually needing extra iron is very rare. Iron is in a lot of different food formations, and iron can be incredibly constipating. What I personally see in my practice when I'm running Dutch hormone or GI map or HTMA labs, oftentimes is an iron cycling issue, which just essentially means that your iron is not being absorbed properly. It's recycling back in your body, which then can cause estrogen dominant symptoms. So one of the first things I always check is, does it have iron? So an iron recycling imbalance can cause a lot of estrogen dominant like symptoms. Your periods might be heavy and clotty. You may experience hormonal migraines. You might experience some intense PMS cramping. And so I want you to hear me when I say more times than not, unless you actually have a clinical diagnosis that you are iron deficient and you're anemic, the chances of you needing high dose of added iron is very rare. So I always like to see prenatals without it. The beautiful thing about this Gut Personal one is there is no added iron. So you can, of course, take it separately if you need, but no added iron. The next thing that I always look for is what blood sugar supporting ingredients are in the prenatal. Ladies, when we are pregnant, your blood increases double to support you and baby, of course, but also blood sugar balance is so crucial for, prenatal. So in Gut Personal's prenatal, there is two major ingredients that support your blood sugar balance. The first, chromium, and the second, inositol. So inositol is an incredible supporting atomic neurotransmitter that actually is found in bountiful amounts in our body. There's actually 9 different forms of it, but it's really important for blood sugar balance. This is something that is oftentimes recommended to women who struggle with PCOS, which blood sugar balance is a huge culprit for women who deal with PCOS. And so this being in here is like optimal. The next thing that I love that stands out amongst other prenatals to this is the higher dosing of B6 and B12. If you have been pregnant before, or maybe you're pregnant and you have dealt with intense morning sickness, you guys, nothing is worse than dealing with morning sickness or nausea and just feeling unwell. With all 3 of my pregnancy, you guys, again, I wish I knew what I know now, because I would have supported my body so differently. And my morning sickness and my intense vomiting and dehydration, I had hypermesia, which is a severe case of like vomiting and morning sickness, and it was really intense. And one of the things that I know now is increasing your levels of B6 can be so drastically beneficial in helping to improve morning sickness. And so this actually has a higher dosing of B6 than any other prenatal on the market, which is like chef's kiss, because we want to make sure that we are supporting you to feel your best. You don't want to feel miserable while you're pregnant. You're growing a human. It's hard enough. Another beautiful piece to this prenatal that is different amongst others is the dosing of B12 in it. So B12, you guys, is very supportive for immune health, metabolic health, but also your energy and your cell rejuvenation within your body. And so when you were pregnant, because your body is working in overload, obviously, to support and grow a beautiful little human being, we want to make sure that you have the right nutrients that are supportive. So the B12 in here is excellent. Another beautiful piece to this is the added high dosing of folate. Oftentimes we see that you need to add folate in, or there's folic acid, which is the non-bioavailable form of folate. If you have MTHFR, you have to make sure that you have a specific kind of folate. In here specifically, it has the L-methylfolate calcium, which is very complementary to those with MTHFR. So for those with MTHFR, it's important to make sure that you are actually getting a natural form of folate that your body is going to actually be able to absorb with having that specific gene. Other key ingredients in here that I really love that I just want to highlight: psyllium for thyroid support. It's very important. If you're eating like Brazil nuts every day, you would be getting the proper amount of psyllium in here. Also, the choline, which is so important for baby's brain and eye health development. And so this is actually a higher dosing, which is really important for mama too, because we always talk about like when we are pregnant or after pregnancy, mom brain. I know you've heard that term before, and it is a real thing. But having this added dosing of choline in beautiful optimal amounts really helps to support baby's brain and yours as well as your energy. Other things that I really love in here are the dosing of magnesium. So the magnesium in here is my magnesium glycinate, and this is one of my preferred magnesiums that I oftentimes recommend to my clients. I personally take it. I take the Miracle Worker at nighttime in addition to what's in here. What I have seen is a lot of other competing prenatals typically have a higher dosing of magnesium, which magnesium is really important. We know that it supports over 300 bodily functions within our bodies. It's especially important to help to reduce stress and anxiety, also to help to support our cells, to support PMS, to support our sleep. But when we're looking at a prenatal and you're already, working in overdrive, one of the benefits of having a lower dose of magnesium is that you can take a higher dose in the evening. And so the magnesium in here is at a little bit of a lower dose so that you can incorporate things like your Miracle Worker at night to support your sleep and really get in that deep REM sleep. And then lastly, one of the beautiful ingredients in here is a small dosing of a probiotic. I talk about probiotics a lot on my page. If you're new here, hi, hello. I'm a functional hormone specialist, and this is what I do every single day. And gut health is so important, you guys, especially for you and baby. Please know that like whatever you are consuming, baby is consuming, and however you are nourishing your body, your baby is latching on and absorbing those nutrients. Gut health, I will tell you, across the board is one of the biggest things that you can focus on before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and while you are postpartum and breastfeeding, if that's what you choose. Because your baby is going to mimic a lot of your microbes. It's pretty wild when I'm running mom and daughter gut analysis labs, like the GI map, to see similar microbes is. So there is tons of benefits to this Saccharomyces specific probiotic strand in this prenatal. I will list some here for you so you can read more thoroughly as to what this specific type of probiotic strand can do. But you guys, it's in really beautiful quantity. It has 1 billion CFUs, which is really important. So again, when I am comparing and contrasting prenatals and having tried a major competing prenatal over the last year, I will tell you that this has done wonders, even for myself, for someone who's just wanting a really well-rounded multivitamin. And I'm not planning on getting pregnant. I'm post my, baby years, but I want an all-in-one, and I needed extra micronutrients for my thyroid and my B vitamins. And this was like the perfect combination for me personally. So this is why functional testing is really important. But if you are trying to that was a lot of information thrown at you. I just want you to understand the importance of nourishing your body pre, during, and post pregnancy. It's so important, you guys, especially as we age as women. It's even more important to be looking at optimal micronutrients that are in their bioavailable form, again, so your body actually can readily absorb them properly and you're getting the benefits. Think of how many times you've bought a supplement and you're like, God, that was awful, or like it tasted awful, or you just didn't see a lot of key beneficial things from it that you were hoping for. It's most likely because that specific supplement wasn't bio-individual to what your body needed. And so this is why, again, it's really important to be getting functional labs. But if you know that you are actively going to start trying, or you are currently pregnant, or you're in your postpartum stage of life, this is a beautiful. So I know that was a lot of information. But I just want you to understand the importance of really taking a superior prenatal, especially when you're trying to conceive, you are pregnant, or even during postpartum. You guys, it's still very important to be nourishing your body postpartum for you and baby, whether you are breastfeeding or not. You still need optimal nutrients. I would say even more so. Postpartum care is awful in the United States. Like, let's be honest. And unless you're working with a functional practitioner like myself or someone else, it oftentimes is just thrown to the back burner, and you are so focused on now this new beautiful life that you just brought earthside to take care of, and your health oftentimes goes out the window. And so I'm here to gently remind you that it's very important to still be nourishing and loving your body and giving yourself key nutrients as well.